So my chances of survival were very slim. Normally with people that have big burns, they already have a pretty low percentage, but I had, internal problems as well. So that was, they said give me a 1% chance to live. We were coming back from Mammoth, and it was, I think, a little like dusk towards the end of the day, and it was, it was, uh, it was getting pretty dark, and there was basically we were on our way, and there's a two lane highway at the 395, and there was a misjudge of speed, and at the time I was sleeping. And Amanda was on my lap. She was sleeping next to me. I was in the far back left. Amanda was in the middle, and my buddy Drew Dellis was in the right. Natalie was in the front and driving, and John Adams was to the right. And so, if you've ever done sports or skateboarding, anything, experience a speed wobble, that's what it kind of felt like at first. And so, there was an abrupt shake, and so you get that eerie, intense feeling where you're out of control and kind of helpless. You can't really, do anything about it, and you just, hope to recover from it. But it was just such a sharp swerve and such a sharp counter to try to balance it out that we ended up flipping. And the car flipped a handful of times and exploded in the process. And it actually hit an oncoming car, and Wendy Rice was the driver of that. She had passed away, and there was, I think, 10 or 11 people in the car. They all got pretty severely injured. I was in a coma for 4 months, and unfortunately, the people that weren't able to make it was Natalie Neild, Amanda Post, and John Adams, and those were some really close people to me. So I didn't sugarcoat anything in the hospital. The doctors were very straightforward, very blunt, very serious, stern. Like the very beginning of the stages, it was like, it was a very serious thing. My recovery process was significant. I started at the very first day when I was in the hospital, pretty much a day or two after they started doing physical therapy. So I'd be having they'd be moving my arms and legs when I was in a coma, and consistently getting the flow going, because it's important to, no matter how injured you are, you have to keep your body moving. Biggest strides was, I had to relearn how to get up. I had to, the first time I got up was probably the biggest accomplishment like I had. I would be sitting there, and they'd have, 6 people, move my legs to the side and then get up. And, I had like a tremendous amount of effort, but the fact that I was on my feet on my own was a big thing. Finding some good things out of bad things. And if there was no good things and you were plateauing and you were finding no progress, look back a little bit at the times that you were getting progress. So look at the milestones that you've made, even if you have to look back 4 weeks or a couple months just to find something that was positive. That's what I trained myself to do. So when you get through those dead days where you're either stepping back because of surgeries, or you're not going anywhere, or I tell my dad, I haven't been improving, what's going on? He'd remind me of, the progress I have made, and I'd go, you're right. Even though it feels like I'm not moving, I am going into forward motion. I have my days when I was down, and I have my days where I don't want to get up. I just want to sit there and do anything. But my parents and my family and my support was my biggest grasp on positive. When I was so coordinated and so good at things, and then things came so difficult, and the frustrations that came along with it, being thankful for every day, being able to celebrate every day, just to understand how precious life really is and how quickly life can really be taken away. When you experience it firsthand, I think it puts more meaning and power into just small things, like any day situations, like just saying hi to someone, smiling at someone, waving at someone. The little things really impact you a lot more. I think that everyone has, stresses of their own every day. Daily stresses. People have different perspectives on those stresses But if you're able to find something positive, um, and you're able to, think in a good way and be open. I think being open is big for me. I think when people close things in and bubble things in, it causes frustration. So I think if you're ever in a situation where you have adversity that you have to overcome, talking about it, telling people about it, or getting some steam off, venting is healthy. And I, even to this day, I have people that I talk to just one-on-one, just because I need to get steam off, and that was helpful for me. When you could shed yourself of any anxiety or fear, that definitely makes you a more a stronger, confident person. I think that now you gotta, fulfill your day as much as you can, like Amanda did. So be spontaneous, do things that you normally wouldn't do. Don't hold yourself back from any goals that you have. I think anything can be attainable if you fully put your mind to it and fully put your heart to it. You can really attain anything that you want. I think God's plan is, for me to shine. I believe that, I think God sets people out there for a certain reason to affect certain people. And some people are there for a short amount of time and impact people greatly. And some people are meant to be there for 90 years and slowly make an impact. Your life's no one knows when they're going to die. No one can predict it. So I think that people are meant to impact each other and are meant to inspire each other and grow together. Success, is anything that, makes your heart feel good, makes you happy. I attribute success to the friendships I have. I've gained so many quality friends, throughout my stay in the hospital and throughout my life, and that's what I look to my success for. I think sharing my story is a way of giving me success, something to talk about, something to help me go through the process. Finding the positives out of a negative is successful. When you could be dished out something so horrific as this tragedy, but find something good out of it, that's successful. When you have surgeries that put you behind and, you mentally work through it and, you say, okay, today was a bad day, but tomorrow's going to be a good day. My mom would constantly remind me of the next day is a new day, and that was successful for me. I think success for me was setting, short-term goals and long-term goals. Long-term goals being cycling, have something out there that you could try to grasp, but it's far out in the picture where it's like you can have, good feelings about it and think about it and dream about it. But also setting short-term goals, and short-term goals could be anything like, I'm going to start today and I'm going to walk up the stairs to the very top and go all the way down. I'm going to do a mile around the hospital and before I leave. Or I think just when you're given a situation and you plateau and you start to regress, as you have the mentality to get through it and be positive and stay positive, that eventually gives you success.